get my 6. Oh, I've just been splitting firewood here today in my pajama pants, making important preparations for a huge winter storm that is coming through our part of the world. But that doesn't mean we should let our guards down and not see what clearly may or may not be trying to sneak up from behind us in the woods. So, I've been splitting wood, stockpiling water, all these things, because potentially, we're going to get up to 8 inches of snow and ice here in my part of Central Virginia. So much going on today. I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but I know, like it says in the title, obviously I had a massive announcement before the storm. That's why I came up here. But in my state of mania, trying to prepare for this storm, I can't quite remember what that massive announcement is, but it will come to me. Let me hydrate for a second. I've already split and hauled in like 2 loads of wood. So I must hydrate and try to remember aforementioned massive announcement. All right, weather in the winter is very, very cunning. Most people think they don't need to hydrate so much because it's not hot and they're not sweating. Let me tell you, you get in the winter, there's no humidity. The atmosphere around you is just sucking the moisture out of your skin, and you better be hydrating or you're going to end up getting cramps. Okay, what was it I came up here to tell you folks? I've been away for a couple of days. I've been very, very, very busy working on the 9th volume of Bigfoot Sasquatch Files. I mean, like from before daylight until dark, with final edits and whatnot, and finishing up some of the stories. What was it I had to tell you? Oh, I made a mental note to myself. I wanted to give a shout out to all of our viewers in Texas. I know that we have a lot of wonderful viewers in Texas. Our friend Bella is in Texas. The artist who sent us some really great artwork here just a couple of weeks ago. And yes, I see that. Keep your eyes on it. This is how much of a rush I'm in. I made a brand new, perfectly symmetrical blue cardboard rectangle, as you can see here. And I carried it up the hill with me, and I freaking stepped on it. You see that? So now it's not perfectly symmetrical anymore. But I hope you can still see what may or may not be in the center of the rectangle. The winds are picking up, an indication that aforementioned storm is certainly on its way in. So like I was saying, I wanted to give a shout out to our viewers in Texas, like Bella and everybody else. But I guess millions of Texans are currently without power because of the storm that hit them recently. So if I were to give them a shout out, I don't think they'd be able to hear it. And I'm not making light of the situation. Could this be like a delayed shout out maybe for when they get back online, they're able to see this? Hey, everybody in Texas. And my wife has a good friend in Oklahoma who's been hit pretty hard too. We hope you guys are managing and you're doing well through this storm. We're about to get our end of it here in Central Virginia. And before that happens, I want to make a massive announcement before the storm. Just kind of having a hard time remembering what that massive announcement was. When in doubt, like any good drill sergeant would say in basic training, just drink more water. It'll come to me. Okay, so anyway, could it have been about the storm? No. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. It just came to me. Duh. It's what I've been spending so much time on here recently. On top of splitting and stacking firewood, and actually, well, I was going to hold this off to tell you this for a while, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you now. And along with beginning marathon training, yes, for an actual marathon, taking care of my family, spending time with my family, all these things, trekking around out here in the forests, in the fields and the meadows behind my home in search of that which may or may not be here. I've been writing and editing and conversing with my editor like crazy to finish Bigfoot Sasquatch Files Volume 9. And here's the massive announcement before the storm. It's finished! And it's now available on Amazon in Kindle, and within 24 hours of that, print! Yay! Made me thirsty. Hold on a minute. By the way, I tell you, once you get up here in editing mode, you kind of stay there for a day or two till you're done. The link to all of the Bigfoot Sasquatch Files volumes is in the description box below. Now, I know most of you watching this have already read volumes 1 through 8. And you're like, oh my God, how did he actually create volume 9? What could be in it? Well, even though I'm pretty much going to give away the story by reading you the book's description, I'm going to read you the book's description. I must caution you, you might want to mute your video at this point if you don't want to have any spoilers. If you choose to mute your video, my mind gets swirled and mumbled and jumbled so much when I edit it. It does take me a day to come out of that. If you decide to mute your video at this point so that you don't have any spoilers given to you while I read the description of Volume 9, continue to watch your screen. And when you see me do this, that means unmute your video. Now, for those of you who aren't worried about spoilers, and maybe for you naughty naughties who've not yet read any of the Bigfoot Sasquatch Files volumes at all, this will certainly inspire you to do so. But don't start with Volume 9. Go back to Volume 1 and make your way through the entire series. So, with no further ado, as my beautiful bride Dearly, a.k.a. Giggly Girl, would say, here is the description. It's very descriptive. Just when you thought you heard every story there was to be told about the elusive cryptid creatures known as Bigfoot Sasquatch, comes new stories you've never heard told about Bigfoot Sasquatch. I'm getting chills, are you? What started out as a seemingly finite collection of Bigfoot Sasquatch stories with Kevin Crazy Lake's Bigfoot Sasquatch Files series has become a seemingly infinite collection of Bigfoot Sasquatch stories of our long hair covered distant relatives that are keeping readers up at night, fearing to go to sleep due to what they've just read, and with their hearts longing for the release of the next volume of the Bigfoot Sasquatch Files. This is all true, by the way. Long no longer, longers, for it is now here. Bigfoot Sasquatch Files Volume 9, more horrific, or maybe not so horrific stories to quench your Bigfoot Sasquatch stories thirst. Readers beware. Though these stories may quench your thirst, as previously stated, only 2 sentences before this sentence, they are destined to leave you thirsting for more. So make sure to check back for volume 10 in the future to quench your thirst then too. Oh my God. Oh, I know. You're like, oh my God. Even though that description was so descriptive of the stories in volume 9 of Bigfoot Sasquatch Files, and I kind of feel like I've already read them because, that just gave us the beginning, the middle, and the end, and the theme was easy to pick out, and it was just, I felt like I was there with the characters in the story myself. I have to read it. Well, the good news is, dear reader, you can. Now that I've made this massive announcement before the storm, I must go down yonder way toward Humble Home and continue preparing for this storm. Should you not hear from us here over the next few days, rest assured we are staying warm as we are fully prepared for these events. Our internet just might not be working as our power might be out. So yes, dear vertically challenged individuals who live under bridges, very, very soon we may potentially be homesteading off the grid.